Hi, hello, welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to episode 3 of this little adventure we are going on in Diablo 3. Goal for today, get to Paragon 900. That's all we have planned for today, that's all we have in store. I am using the wrong build. This is my speed farm build, but I'm gonna try and make the best of it. I am not gonna try and make the best of it. I will restart my game. I will accept that I fucked up. I will not edit this out because I am a changed man. I'm a completely different human being, to be honest. Like, it's just insane how crazy I have become. How accepting of the fact that not every video is going to be a masterpiece, not every video is going to be perfect, but every video is going to be an Onkruid video, and that's what makes it perfect, really. Alright, don't forget to actually switch out of the build. There we go, let's save it for good measure. Greater speed is exactly what we're looking for. Let's try that again, shall we? As I was saying, all we have planned for today is to get to Paragon level 900. We are at 888 right now, so it's actually not that far to go. Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away, and yesterday was also the day that I started recording these episodes, recorded episode 1 and 2. If I'm not mistaken, we ended off episode 2 in the search of gems. In a search of gems to augment my weapon. And that's something I just did off camera, really. And that's the beauty of letting go. That's the beauty of accepting that not every video is going to be insane. I can do things off camera as well without having to worry like, oh, but then they won't know exactly what happened to my character throughout the entire run of my Diablo character's career, and how will they ever be able to follow? And I just let go of all those thoughts because I realize that they are just thoughts in my own mind that can't actually hurt me. That can't actually diminish or lessen the impact or the enjoyment rather that people experience from my videos. And that people that accept that the content is just going to be second monitor content, or people that watch my content so happily and so enthusiastically that they even put this on their primary monitor just because Diablo gameplay is also fun for them. Shout out to those guys, by the way. Everybody is just going to have a good time. And most of all, I am going to have a good time. Because I am not going to experience the struggle anymore of wanting to upload more but not having the time for it. Of course, there's still going to be some bottlenecks, like for example, the rendering process is always still going to take a while, but I'm just going to make the best out of it. And it's a big difference having to wait for renders and uploads, or having to edit and then wait for renders and uploads. I swear to God, the editing process on these videos, on the Noita videos even, like, you would presume that it doesn't take that long because it's not that well edited, and to make it a bit more of a positive formulation, I just don't spend that much time on it. And still, it takes up like segments of my day, like eons almost, eras. The entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, all movies could have just been played in the time span of me editing one Noita video. Maybe a bit of an over-exaggeration, but you get my point, right? You catch my drift. It just takes up so much time, and that's time that I could be spending reading books, time that I could be spending doing research for another educational video, time that I could be spending playing games with my friends, times that I could be spending just playing regular old games and recording it in the meantime as well. Just time that I could be spending in a better manner. And that's not to say that I dislike editing, because as I have said umpteen times on this channel already, maybe a little bit too much already even, editing is very fun for me. It's a way of giving a personal touch to your videos that you can't always do through just gameplay and commentary. But we have to make decisions. Life calls for tough decision making sometimes, and it's just something you need to take into account when you get born. Not that you have any choice over that matter, but still. It's a bit of a stoic attitude, maybe, I think, that life just requires some hard decisions. Life requires to sit through some bad periods as well, some negative emotions, some negative experiences, some negative thoughts. And all those things are welcomed. They are part of human life. It's what Russ Harris calls willingness. It's what Nietzsche calls the infinite repeat. The infinite repeat is like a very loose translation. Life goes in cycles. Maybe you'll date a just like me. I hope not. Little J. Cole in there. But life does go in cycles, you know. And so much of our life is also just like patterns. especially relationships. That's something I have told a bunch of clients earlier this week already, because it was something that was implanted in my mind by one of my colleagues and her very interesting workshop on relational patterns and how they can influence, for example, the relationship you have with other people in your group practice, but also with your clients and just relationships in general. Relationships are filled to the brim with patterns, like absolutely stockpiled to the ceiling. Imagine like a Parisian author, a French girl living in Paris writing her own books, and she has books stacked up to the ceiling in every single room. That apartment, but then just what I said earlier, which is something I already forget. Wow, that was one of my best analogies, best jokes as well. Great delivery right there, really, just awesome. I absolutely understand why some people would want to have this on their first monitor. They want undivided attention. They want to pay complete attention to this absolute content creation master that is at work here. And now that we have those negative thoughts about myself out the way, we can continue creating this video. Because that's all there is to it, right? I just have to show up, press the record button, and then the rest will kind of be guided into existence along the way. That's exactly something I told one of my clients earlier this week already as well. She is a teacher in high school, and sometimes she has classes where she really feels great. She's really satisfied with what she did that class. She knows that her students were paying a lot of attention. She feels very satisfied with how the class went. And then she was like, but that's just like an hour or two in an entire week. How do I stay satisfied for the rest of the week and stay satisfied through classes that are not that fun or that don't go as well? And that's when we were looking at like, well, what other types of, or what other aspects can give you value? What other aspects can give you value in your teaching job? And that's when I gave her my own example of my therapist job or my clinical psychologist job, if the IRA FBI are listening, is that sometimes I also have sessions where I think, that wasn't so great, we didn't make any progress. That's something that happens quite a lot in therapy, of course, because progress is not the primary goal. I digress. And then I realize, but I did spend 50 minutes of my time with my unwavering attention. I was empathic, I was real, I was authentic, and I let everything exist in the session. And that is the promise I made to these clients at the start of their journey with me. So then that helps me to feel a lot better about myself. That gives me value from my job. Even if I feel like the end results are not necessarily amazing, I can still be proud of the process I went through. And that's exactly the type of shit that I try to get my clients to see. That is way, way more valuable. I had a client yesterday, struggles at work, worrying, a whole lot of worrying about work and about other stuff as well. And at work, most of the worrying is like the end product needs to be great because other people depend on it. And I told her like, all right, understandable, and it's very honorable of you that you care so much about the impact on others that your work has. That's beautiful, that's fine. But if you only get motivated by the end product and you want that end product to be perfect every time, you are not gonna keep on getting motivated by your job at all. It's very similar to something Professor Dirk Hermans and Professor Philip Raas talk about in their book Introduction to Behavioral Therapy, to Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. I think it's just behavioral therapy though, which is a very powerful distinction to make and a very important distinction to make. I digress yet again. My mind is really racing. I feel that it's a good day for recording. But just like they talk about in their book, where they have like this assignment of like, all right, I have to write this book. How am I gonna derive pleasure, motivation, fulfillment from it? Am I gonna wait until the book is actually released and only then feel proud of what I accomplished? That's not gonna work out. That reward is way, way, way too far in the future for you to actually keep on being motivated by it. Of course, once the book actually releases, it comes out, you get positive feedback from people, or you get students that actually like to study the book. That's a great source of reward, but that's not gonna keep you going for the meticulous process of writing an entire literary work, a process that can take up to months, take up to years. You have to find other motivating factors. You have to find internally motivating factors that are way more motivating in the here and now. And that kind of sounds like I'm advising you to chase short-term reward, which is absolutely not what I'm looking for or what I'm trying to instill in you, because writing a book and having an impact on the world in that way is very much about having a long-term reward, a long-term rewarding section of your life. Not the right word, we're gonna roll with it anyway. But in that process of achieving that long-term reward, allow yourself to just enjoy the process as well. Allow the process to be a reward in and of itself. And that's way easier said than done. Because, well, during the process, during the writing, more often than not, we don't actually get any rewards. We don't get any money, for example. I think that a lot of authors, especially in the field of psychology, probably don't necessarily do it exactly for the money entirely, but it is a very nice bonus and it is a nice rewarding factor, that's for sure. And that's why all those things that normally give you a rewarding feeling, that make you feel proud of what you accomplished, that make you look back in anger, I heard you say, that make you look back in proudness, in contentness, feeling happy about your achievements, feeling satisfied with yourself. Search for those things during the process and search for things that internally motivate you, because money is an external motivator. Internally motivating could be realizing how valuable you find your job to be, realizing that you did what you set out to do, realizing that you set a goal and that you actually achieved that goal, even if it was not to the extent that you had planned out beforehand. You still tried, you attempted. And sometimes an attempt is way better than a perfect result. I realize that what I'm saying in this video is mostly things that you people will be like, you people, you disgusting people, will be like, yeah, I mean, of course, what you say makes a lot of sense, that's very true. And then you should start to realize, but wait, do I actually do that in my day-to-day life? People in education, for example, in university education or something, are you feeling motivated, deriving energy and vitality from the process? Or are you just so slowly but surely, and not even surely, another big factor, working towards that degree, towards that little piece of paper that tells people that you slaved to the educational system for 5 years and hopefully learned something from it? For me, I made that switch quite quickly in my educational career. I focused way more on the process, on going to class and how interesting it was, on summarizing my classes and realizing that I was quite good at that and that I could add value to the world by sharing those summaries with other people. Or by meeting up with friends in classes and in between classes, doing everything together. Connectedness is the motor of mental health, really. And I definitely figured that out during my educational career. Luckily enough, at the start of my educational career even. Although it's sometimes that stance wavered a little bit. It wasn't like the most fundamentally sound experience or the most fundamentally sound ideology for me, because more often than not, I was also hindered by fear of failure, which kind of sometimes impeded me to go out for dates with friends, to go out for get-togethers, just because I was like, no, I have to study right now, otherwise I'm gonna not make my exams, which was complete bullshit, because by the time I felt those feelings, I had often already even studied enough, so really just like not a good look on me and my mental health, but now I know better, luckily enough. Alright, here we go. Paragon level 900 achieved. We were already a bit over 900, I guess. Beautiful. Let's disenchant this final inventory and then we'll call it a video. Beautiful. A beautiful video in my opinion. I'm really proud of this one. Even though my speech was not always as coherent as I would have normally wanted it, and normally I would have edited out some segments, replaced them with me repeating myself because I was not satisfied with the way I said it the first time. No, I am very proud of the content I delivered to you today. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope you otherwise just enjoyed the soothing sound of my annoying little voice or the Diablo gameplay. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Find eternal motivation. Bye bye.